Hello and welcome back to church. This is just a really quick video to explain how church will be a little bit different moving forwards. And can I say, before we say anything else, if you're not ready to return to church yet, please don't worry. We're going to be continuing the online ministry moving forwards, so there's absolutely no pressure for you to come back immediately. Our plan is to begin once a week on a Wednesday night for the Bible study and the prayer meeting. So the more the merrier, but there'll be a few things that we have to put in place. And as you'll see as we walk around the building, there are some changes that are going to mean some limitations on numbers, but I'll explain that as we go along. Also to say, if you have any COVID-19 symptoms at all, please do not attend the building. Obviously it goes without saying, seek medical help. And please get in touch because we would like to support you from a pastoral perspective and also to pray for you. So first of all, when you get here, you'll notice the car park's the same, nothing's changed. I would ask that you continue to maintain your 2 meters distance even once you get out of your cars as much as you can. As from Monday, you won't just be able to turn up at church, unfortunately. We have to adhere to the government guidelines on COVID-19 with regard to places of worship. And so from Monday, you're going to have to book to let us know that you're coming. Very simple, very straightforward. There'll be a link sent to you also on the website and on our Facebook page. It's just a case of putting in your name, address, email address, and a contact telephone number. That information will be deleted after 21 days, but it just enables us to fulfill our requirements for track and trace. When you get to the path, when you finally arrive here, you'll notice there are some signs up. There's also some pink markings on the path itself, and these pink lines, these pink marks, are set at 2 meter intervals. So should there be a queue in front of you, please just ensure that you wait behind one of these pink markers until you're called forward.
I can't wait to get into church.
In addition to the booking system, the online booking system, which is on Eventbrite, we're also going to be taking a photograph at the beginning of the service and at the end of the service in order to provide us with a timestamp of when people are in and when they leave the building. Again, this will be kept securely and after 21 days will be deleted. Let's go inside the building and see what's different. So as you come in, there is a gel station here. And we ask everyone who's entering into the building to adhere to these regulations and guidance just to keep everybody safe.
This is how you wash your hands. And you need to do it for 20 seconds or do happy birthday twice.
Okay, so once you've gelled your hands and you get into the hallway, you will no longer be able to turn left. And you'll no longer be able to hang up your coats. So we would ask that if you bring a coat or you've got a jumper, just keep it with you please, or leave it in the car. If you have to bring it into the building, we're going to ask you just to put it under your chair. And also we're not allowing people to go this way to the toilets because we have to have in place a one-way system, which I can show you in a moment. But after you've gelled your hands, there'll also be somebody who's going to greet you positioned here, and if you've got any questions at that point, you're more than welcome to ask them. Also, we've got some Bibles, so if you haven't got a Bible, you're welcome to take one of those. And again, please keep hold of it, and after you finish with it, return it, and those will be cleaned and also left for over 72 hours so that there's no risk of contamination. Let's go into the building. From the moment you get into the car park and you get out of your car, we would respectfully ask you that you keep to the guidelines that we are trying to adhere to as a church, from a safety perspective, but also from a Christian witness perspective to the people around. So please, no handshaking, no hugging, no high-fiving, and anything else that you might imagine. Down each side of the building, there are sets of 5 seats, and each set of seating is separated by a 2 meter distance. Make your way to the front of the church. It's going to be difficult. I know we're used to going from the back, but we need you to start by filling up from the front. So each row effectively is for one household. Now, obviously, there are seating limitations due to numbers, but what's really helpful is once we have the list in front of us of who's actually going to come, that will enable us to potentially reconfigure the seating and even allow for more people to come than we perhaps might have initially thought. So everything really stems on who's coming, and we're hoping to be able to have everyone who's wanting to come back, at least in the short term. Throughout the service, all of the windows and most of the doors, if not all of the doors, will be left open to allow ventilation to come into the building and keep people even safer than they would be. As per the guidelines, singing unfortunately will not be permitted. The live stream, as I said earlier, is going to be continuing. So while the songs are being played out via live stream, they'll also be coming through the speakers. So we're going to listen to those worship songs and praise God in our hearts. It's frustrating, but it's only temporary, and hopefully over the coming months those restrictions will be relaxed. Before you get into the church, I should say all of the windows and the doors will be open for half an hour before you get here, and they'll be left open for half an hour afterwards. Also, there will be thorough cleaning done of the entire building between meetings from week to week. Once you occupy a seat, it's important that you do not move to a different seat at any point while you're here. So if you need to get up to go to the loo, for example, make sure that when you come back, you sit in exactly the same seat. Also, while you're here, we ask you do not consume any food. The only exception to that is boiled sweets, and even if you bring boiled sweets, unfortunately, you're not allowed to pass them out to everybody. Sadly, at the moment, we're not in a position to offer any kind of children's ministry other than the online ministry that we've been putting up since the beginning of the lockdown. But that is something that we're looking to address, especially in the coming weeks as we consider Sunday opening and as we consider what we would do with regard to families with children. So if you're planning to come along to the Bible study and the prayer meeting with children, just bear in mind that they're going to have to stay with you for the whole time. So that may or may not be practical depending on the age of your child. Once the service is finished, we would ask that you would leave fairly promptly. We're not permitted again to have long periods of conversation. So as soon as it's finished, either Steve or myself or whoever is leading the Bible study will ask kindly that people leave from the back of the church. And again, could you please remember to maintain that 2 meter distance as you go, and then as you leave, just to make sure that you don't linger too long in the car park, and just keep to the 2 meter rule. We want people to be able to come to church and feel confident and feel safe in this environment. It's important as a witness, as I said earlier, that we do all that we can to meet the expectations and the guidance that's been given to us by the government. But we want to do that in a way that still enables us to worship. So although this is not perfect, and there's certainly more that we'd love to do, it is only temporary, and our hope is in the coming weeks and months that we can slowly return to some kind of normality. So let me just quickly show you the route to the toilet, and then we're almost done. So hang on in there, we're close to the end. So if you need a toilet at any point, the signs really are very self-explanatory. Toilets this way. The route to the toilets is through the kitchen, through the creche, or what was the creche. Before you get to the toilet, there is another hand gel station. Just make sure that you give your hands another little squirt of gel, and that's really just to make sure that as you touch the door handles, we're not accidentally transferring any germs onto the toilet door handles. Obviously, once you've used the toilet, it goes without saying, continue to do normal, everyday hand washing protocol. There will be anti-bac wipes available as well if you feel that you want to wipe things down. Also, make sure when you come to use the toilet, if you need the toilet, make sure that they're not already occupied. If they are, just wait, and when people come out, they'll follow this route, which I'll now show you. You're just going to follow the signs. I mean, there are signs everywhere. Come back into this hallway, and then just make your way down the middle until you get to your seat, and then find your seat again. So it's very straightforward. When the service is finished, we'll ask people from the back rows to leave first. You'll then make your way, maintaining that 2 meter distance, out of the building. One last final hand sanitising, just to make sure you haven't picked up anything whilst you've been in the building, and then it's off to your cars and to the freedom of the beautiful Suffolk countryside. We very much look forward to seeing you back at the church as soon as you feel you can be. But in the meantime, keep watching the online streams, keep watching the online services. God bless you, keep you safe, and we'll see you soon.
Thank you for watching. We look forward to seeing you back at church really soon. Bye.